It's time to get lost in the Midcard. This Believe in Pro Wrestling property is brought to you by Bet Online, the continued #1 source for all your sports betting needs. Join now and receive your 100% welcome bonus on your first deposit when you use our promo code BELIEVE. Now, here are Jeremy Bennett and Matt Black on the Believe Podcast Network.
What's up? Welcome to the podcast where get ready for a barrage of pay-per-views starting this weekend. We got it all for you here on Lost in the Midcard. Welcome. We're going to be predicting the All In card. I'm gonna get that confused all throughout the week. Are we in or are we out? Can't remember. Sometimes I don't think Tony Khan knows if he's in or out. We got a lot to talk about.
We're in and we're out, brother.
Yeah, something like that. If you haven't done so already, make sure that you are subscribed to the Believe in Pro Wrestling YouTube channel. It's BLEAV, Believe in Pro Wrestling. Subscribe, hit that bell. That way you know every time we go live and every time something new drops, kind of like a new interview with Rick Ucchino and Alpha Academy. Thank you! That's out there now. Go check it out. Also, go check out the weekly show that Rick and SP3 do. I think they'll be dropping their All In predictions as well on the show. Gonna be looking to be a good one. I think we're gonna be in for a hell of a time. I'm gonna be probably watching it with one eye open. It's the day after my birthday, so it might be a rough day. Might be a very rough day. I'm your host, Jeremy Bennett. You can find me on the Twitter at JB Huskers. As always, my co-host, he's on the Twitter at Raw F Showtime, Mr. Matt Black. Matt, how you doing tonight?
Man, I'm doing. We are in the calm. We are in the calm before the storm right now because these next 2 weeks are going to be freaking crazy. So
we're not going to be able to tell what's in and what's out.
Strap in, wrestling fans, because over the course of the next 2 weeks, it's gonna be bonkers.
I mean, we got All In. And
I predict 2 weeks from now, me and you are gonna be on this show, completely just exhausted and not looking forward to Raw because we have been wrestled out over the last 2 weeks, and we're just like, no more. I'm tapping out, brother.
No moss. I mean, we got All In Saturday or Sunday. I got my all-in birthday party on Saturday. That'll be fun. Then we got next weekend after that is All Out, and then Payback in the same weekend, right?
Yeah, Payback Saturday, All Out Sunday.
Yeah.
Gonna be, like I'm telling you, dude, 2 weeks from now we're gonna be on the show going, do we really need to watch Raw?
Thanks
for everybody joining. Raw?
Thanks for everybody joining the chat. Stephen Chambers, as always, thanks for joining us. Mark Cho back home. Good to see you on the show here. Hopefully you're doing better. Craig, thanks for joining us. Frantic World. MK, big week. Yes, a big week. Of course, announcing the wrestling numbers. We'll get into the WrestleMania part of that later on. Steven talking about Chad Gable winning the IC title tonight. I got my own thoughts on what's going to happen there, but we'll get into that later as well. Never too tired to watch wrestling. Got my Starbucks ready. You're going to need it, Steven. AMK, when is Heat Wave? That is this tomorrow. Tuesday.
Yep.
That's this Tuesday. Wesley and Carmelo Hayes going at it for the NXT Championship. I did not watch last week's NXT or didn't finish it quite yet. What other matches are on Heat Wave?
Oh my god, I don't know.
Okay.
I don't know. I don't care about Heat Wave, dude.
All I knew was
I watch NXT every week, but like 30 minutes after it's over, I rarely remember anything. So I will give credit that the contract signing last week between Wesley and Carmelo Hayes was awesome. and it might have been
Yeah.
the best contract signing I've seen in forever. So that was good stuff. That's really the only thing I remember from last week's NXT was the contract signing. So
There's a thing came out. I saw today that Grayson Waller mentioned that he had. I think this is before he was called up. He mentioned, or he was talking with Carmelo Hayes, saying that they're both going to be at WrestleMania 40. Grayson Waller definitely well on his way. Carmelo Hayes would not be a surprise. I mean, he's been ready for a while.
I think he will be.
Yeah. Not a surprise. Let's kick things off with our top story here. This guy supposedly has wrestled his final match in WWE, or has he? We don't know yet. The contract is set to run out in September. A first time match, which, I mean, that was amazing that these guys have never crossed paths at anywhere. But a first time match to close SmackDown between Edge and Sheamus. And they got 20 minutes, and it was a classic. This was a hell of a match. If this is Edge's last WWE match, Matt, I think he went out on a damn high note here, because this was just a great crowd, a great atmosphere, and they put on a hell of a match, didn't they?
Yeah, I think it was his last WWE match, and I think he went out, like WWE would have wanted him to go out. Like,
Yeah.
I still think WWE is like kind of hoping that they can sign him, and that's why they put him over. Because technically, on an out like that, you'd normally
Lose.
put over your buddy,
Yeah.
give him the rub. But
Sheamus doesn't need put over, though.
it still would have been nice, to let Sheamus have that W on Edge. But WWE clearly would be interested in re-signing him, but I don't think that's happening. So,
Think he's heading down to the land of the lead, huh?
dude, I've been telling people this all year,
One last run with
all
Christian.
freaking year. I've been telling people that we were getting Edge and Christian against FTR in AEW, and nobody wanted to hear me. But it's happening, so hear me now.
I know this is we're not we're jumping ahead here, but I wonder how many variations of this guy's already in WWE 2K. I know AEW's creation suite is not evolved enough, but the Golden Vampire is all elite. I wonder, of which I guess it is topical because it was a tribute to Edge, Conquistador / Brood tribute to Edge. So I'm sure there's a bunch of Golden Vampires in 2K right now, don't you think?
I honestly have no idea. Maybe a couple. I can't imagine that was a big call that people rushed out to make over the weekend.
That was pretty good, though. Getting one over on Joe. I thought that was pretty good. The old Golden Vampire. Like, wow, this guy's taking it to Joe. Then he throws into the corner. I go, well, if he hits a knee here, I think I know who this guy is. Yep, he hit the knee. Oh, that was Punk. But yeah, great final match with Sheamus. If it is truly his final match, I mean, they brought Beth out to ringside, and with the kids, and in Toronto. I mean, how else can you really top a finale? So maybe they expect he's not coming back. Maybe the win, though, is just maybe something to be like, hey, you're going to make another world title run, come on, we'll give you that money. But I don't know. I think he wants to end his career how it started with Christian. I either with or against him, I think. Don't you agree?
To me, it just makes sense.
Mm-hmm.
And a tag team run would allow him to not have to worry about,
Yeah.
Look, he's getting older, so if they're gonna put him in a tag team, he has to do half the work, and he still can do the greatest hits and still get through these matches and not have to physically kill himself like that match with Sheamus was hard hitting as hell. I would not really imagine he'd have to do any of that in AEW if he's going to come over and be a tag team guy. So,
and you got all those matches that you can line up for him FTR, obviously FTR, especially Cash, essential in getting Edge back into his comeback. The Young Bucks, I mean, come on, another run against the Hardys. There are so many things that those guys can do. But obviously, Edge coming into WWE at roughly the same time as Christian. He basically got Christian in the door when they had their tryout against each other. And the video packages were pretty damn good too, weren't they? The interviews with the superstars, then also the kind of looking back. I thought those were pretty well done. It was pretty cool to see. And hey, they didn't erase Christian too. I mean, that'd be kind of dumb to do that, but they didn't do it. Because you know how they've erased Dean Ambrose from the Shield. You kind of wonder, but it's kind of hard to erase Christian from Edge's history.
They've mentioned Ambrose plenty.
Yeah, more now, but in the early days, they found their ways to get around, including him in footage. So, Stephen Chambers, since Hollywood is on strike and underwater, might we see Edge All Elite? Christian Hardys may talk him into it. Yeah, there's a lot of people over there that could talk him into it. MK thinks it's 50-50.
And he lives right up the road from Dax.
Yep.
He's very good friends with FTR. FTR helped train him to come back to the ring in the first place.
We can see.
I'm telling you, FTR Edge of Christian is absolutely happening.
Oh,
it's happening.
Charles, not a CM Punk fan apparently, and he has explosive diarrhea. Thanks for that.
TMI, pal.
Mark Cho, ENC and the Hardys one more time. Got to happen, man.
And you just know that Bully Ray is going to try to weasel his way in
for some glory
with Devon to try to do a 3-way of that. And if I'm Tony Khan, I'm telling Bully Ray to fuck off.
Well, MK says Devon can't take a bump anymore, so
Devon will be taking a bump because he's competing at Impact 1000 with Bully Ray as Team 3D next month. Don't know how many more bumps he's got in him, but he's absolutely competing as Team 3D at Impact 1000 next month.
The AARP TRC. It wouldn't be great if they got that to sponsor. That'd be funny. If Edge goes to AEW, we need to see heel team of ENC and also Edge versus Punk. We never did get Edge and Punk, did we, back in the day? Is that one of those Sheamus and Edge things?
Not that I recall.
Yeah, is that one of those Sheamus and Edge things that you swear happened, but actually never did? I don't know.
I can't recall it happen. I'm not saying it didn't happen, but I can't recall. That it happened.
Please tell Billy Ray no, Tony.
Yes. I think we're all in agreement here. Nobody wants Bully Ray in AEW. Absolutely nobody. The only person who wants Bully Ray in AEW is, I was going to say, the only person who wants Bully Ray in AEW is Bully Ray.
I saw where you were going with that.
Yeah.
And it was cool. A cool finish. Great finish with a lot of near falls, and good to get the hug in at the end before they went off the air, because SmackDown with Fox goes off the air kind of earlier than the beginning of the hour. So it's kind of cool to at least get everything in there as much as they could after that match, because they did give him time too. They gave him 20 minutes to do the match too. Edge's contract is not up until September. Ahead of the match, I
know he's saying this, but we need to keep in mind this is the same guy who swore up and down months heading into the Rumble when he returned in 2020 that he was not cleared to return and he wasn't coming back to the ring. So just because he's saying that his contract expires at the end of September doesn't necessarily mean that his contract isn't up right now.
Oh, so Edge it all in confirmed.
Or all out. Look, I'm just saying Edge loves to work people. Edge is a very good worker because he likes to do surprises. So I'm just saying, I know he's saying that his deal's up at the end of September, but I wouldn't be surprised if it was up now.
Yeah.
So
okay.
Well, there we go. Charles confirms the Edge versus CM Punk did happen at WWE SmackDown on October 22nd of 2010. My God, that's a long time ago.
13 damn years ago. What was I doing 13 years ago? Getting drunk, probably.
Just imagine all the cool dream matches Edge and Christian can have in AEW. I mean, like, I know people talk about the rematch with the Hardys, but I mean, FTR, the Young Bucks, Santana and Ortiz,
Lucha
like
Bros.
the Lucha Bros. Oh my God.
Lucha Bros against the El Conquistadors.
Yeah, dude, there's so many great tag teams over there that I think there's almost an infinite number of tag team dream matches for him to go over there and have before he hangs them up.
Oh, here we go. Let's fire shots at Kevin Dunn any chance we get. Remember when Edge came back and old Kevin Dunn decided to cut to the crowd when he landed the spear on Ziggler. Yeah.
Well, that's done for you. I mean, it's not like that's not something anybody should be surprised by. So
anytime we can shit on Kevin Dunn, we're gonna do it on this show. Trust me. Yeah. And the article came out a couple of days ago on Fightful that we won't be seeing Edge in All Elite Wrestling. Well, yeah, because it's trademarked by WWE. It would be Adam Copeland, or maybe Edge Cage. How about that? It's Christian's brother, Edge Cage.
I wonder if they could get away with the Edge.
The Edge.
The Edge.
Does the YouTube guy on YouTube have that trademarked?
I don't know. I'm just spitting out ideas. I'm curious if they could get away with something like the Edge. Or something along those lines.
Edge
so
Cage. I like Edge Cage.
Yeah, I'm not quite sure what they're going to do, but I don't think he's coming in as Adam Copeland.
Yeah.
But I'm not sure what he's going to come in as. But hey, we'll see. Maybe he comes in as Edge Copeland.
Edge Copeland.
I mean, I don't know.
It's got a better ring than Edge Cage.
Yeah, it'll be very interesting to see how they work around the name, because clearly the AEW probably already has a plan about that, because before Edge returned to the ring in WWE, he was in negotiations to go to AEW.
Yep.
Told Vince,
that's
Vince
what
backed the brink truck up to his house, and all of a sudden he was magically cleared by WWE doctors to return to WWE. So. Clearly, I would think if they were already discussing bringing him in years ago, that they would have some kind of idea about what they wanted to call him.
TK spending money on the Ultimate song. Maybe 100. I don't know if WWE probably
they can't own guaranteed rights on a track that they don't own.
Yeah. So.
To me, if you're TK, it's two options. You either grab the Alter Bridge track. You go old school and you grab Rob Zombie.
Yeah. Oh, that'd be cool. That'd be cool to hear Never Gonna Stop again.
Yeah. I mean I think either one of those would work. I think if you're TK, you want to get Alter Bridge just because it's what everybody connects with him in right now, but like today, Never Gonna Stop would be a hell of a shout too.
In the Fightful Select article, a bunch of stuff we already talked about, of course, the contract at the end of September. However, there are many people inside of AEW that think Edge coming in is a real possibility. Those close to him have claimed earlier the year the idea of him working in AEW isn't as out there as you would think. So casual fans probably thinking there's no way he would go to a different company.
They said the same thing about Paul White and Mark Henry.
Right. Obviously, Edge is close with Christian, Dax, and Cash. Beyond many in AEW thinking that it can be a real possibility. It was discussed by people before Edge claimed the match with Sheamus would be the last on his contract. So this was brought up well before this was known publicly.
Yeah,
so,
and I also believe he's pretty tight with Saraya.
Yeah.
Because I know he offered her a lot of advice and support when she was rehabbing her neck to get back to the ring. I know Edge spoke to her multiple times about that. So like that's another connection he has over there that a lot of people aren't mentioning. I think he has more connections over there than people think.
Yeah. Boy. Boy, would that spice up the All Out card.
If he's coming, look, if he's trolling and working on the expiration date of his deal, if he's coming in and all in or all out, it's not for a match.
Frantic World,
it's not for a match.
Here that Edge has the Ultra Bridge. No, WWE licenses it, so they don't even own it. So they license it to be able to use it on their programming.
just like WWE licensed Cult of Personality.
Yeah, so Tony Khan would then
the same
be
thing.
licensing. Yeah, he'd be paying to license that song as well.
Yeah.
Much like Tony Khan paid to license Walk by Pantera for Rob Van Dam, which Rob didn't even know was going to be used until it happened, which was kind of a cool story.
Like hours before the show. Yeah. Because as the 24 hours before that Dynamite, they hadn't secured it yet. Like that came in at the at the final hour, so to speak. So
MK saying probably Rob Zombie. You never know. I mean, Tony Khan will pay to license any kind of music, as we.
Also you got to never gonna stop. As somebody who ended his career at WWE and is continuing in AEW, never gonna stop is kind of a good shout.
Kind of a wink and nod, right?
Yeah. So like, I absolutely would not hate him getting Rob Zombie, but I think just for the modern day fan, I think Alter Bridge is the better track, just because it's instantly recognizable right now. But I mean, never gonna stop would be great. I don't think you can go. Honestly, I don't think you can go wrong either way.
It won't suck. No. Stephen Chambers saying bring back the Brood. Well, they won't be able to license that one. That's a Jim Johnston tune. So, well, unless Jim Johnston goes heel on Vince.
Gangrel's worked for AEW before. Christian's there now.
That could happen.
I could absolutely see them doing a small trios run at some point during.
Imagine them feuding with the House of Black. That'd be fun.
Oh my god, dude! I'd love to see Edge. I'd love to see Edge versus Malachi Black.
Oh,
God. I think that match would be sick.
Yeah, you're right. This shit ain't gonna be one match.
No. Like I'm telling you, man. I think he'll sign a 1-year deal. I think he'll come in for a 1-year deal, and he'll work the part-time. He'll work the part-time schedule. I think he'll work the part-time schedule like Sting. Like I think you'll see him on TV a great deal, but like they're gonna mix and they're gonna pick and choose his matches. But every single one of them is gonna end up being something special.
I would be surprised if it's more of a 2-year deal. Plus, you got to see how much is left with Christian. Maybe they both retire at the same time.
That would be crazy. I wouldn't rule it out though.
And at the same time, it's they're in their upper 40s, but they've also both have had some extended time off, and so they haven't been like hitting the road since they were 20 every year. So there may be room for a couple of years out of this, and there's so much to do out of all that. So it's pretty cool to see. MK in the chat is Black hurt. He hasn't wrestled a singles match since coming back. No, I just think they're focusing on trios because they're the trios champions. So I don't think he's hurt. He's been competing.
Seems like the storyline wise, it seems like Black sends out Brody and Buddy to do the singles dirty work.
Yeah.
And he's like he works the trios matches.
Yeah.
And I think it'll continue to be that way until they drop the title. I don't expect to see a ton of Malachi singles matches until that trio drops the belts.
No, and then once they drop the belts, he might be a guy that could be in line for the title, possibly, or a title, obviously, but maybe the title. He could be the guy.
He could be look. If they drop those trios titles soon, he could be the guy to upend Orange.
Yeah.
So I ain't rolling that out.
Let's move on because boy, I didn't expect to talk about Edge this long, but hey, man, he's worth it. He's worth it.
People are excited about the possibility of what he's going to do next. It's very evident by our chat. Like, a lot of people are excited about the possibility of what's next for Edge.
Double retirement match, Hardy's and Edge and Christian. I mean, those guys are towards the end of the road there. Edge, Christian, and the Golden Vampire as the Brood 3.0. Mark Cho, will you stop? Give Edge the Sting.
I'm honestly surprised there's not a Golden Vampire shirt on Shop AEW yet.
I know.
I'm very, very surprised that there's nothing up there.
Give Edge to Stinger, and that's how you keep healthy for a few years. And Sting is 62, 63, jumping off of balconies still. That guy's insane.
Yeah, keep in mind, Sting is. I could be rolling on this. I don't think Sting's worked a singles match in AEW.
No, he hasn't.
I think every single thing's been in, it has been in a form of a tag.
And he's over 10 years older than those guys too. So.
And I'm just saying, like, look how great that's worked out for him. Like Edge and Christian in a tag run. Like, to me, it's such a no-brainer. It's such a no-brainer.
We probably aren't going to get to much news tonight. The biggest news: Cash Wheeler arrested. Hopefully, that's a non-story going forward.
If you read the affidavit of the guy, it's pretty much a non-story.
Okay.
Because look, let me tell y'all a story. I'm gonna tell.
Let me talk to you.
I'm gonna talk to you. All right. This guy in his statement is claiming, as he was driving, with his eyes are supposed to be on the road, was able to look over at the car beside him and not only make out Cash Wheeler's description, but what kind of gun he was holding and pointing at him when they were driving. I have been held up at gunpoint in my life, standing still, a foot in front of my face. And I will tell you, it is a traumatic experience. And I, at no point, could tell you afterwards what the guy looked like or what type of gun he was holding and what the gun looked like. Because you can't think. You freeze. Mm-hmm. It's an experience I would not wish upon anybody. And I'm happy that I got through it and survived it. But as soon as I read that guy's like testimony or whatever you want to call it, affidavit or whatever, I'm like, dude, this guy's full of shit. Mm. Because there's no freaking way. There's no freaking way. He probably got cut off by Cash, recognized that it was a celebrity, took down the license plate, and is trying to, get money out of this.
Well, look what happened to Joe Mixon. And that became not guilty.
Yeah. So, yeah, it was, everybody was flipping out about it the morning that it happened. I went online. It's like, man, I'm not going to sit on here and pretend to be a legal expert, but let's wait for more information to come out about this thing before we condemn this man. And once that more information was out, I just like, yeah, whatever. This is a nothing case, and that's why his passport wasn't taken from him, and that's why FTR and the Bucks are still happening at All In this Sunday.
So that's where I picked a good photo for this then. There you go.
Cash.
All right, let's move on to this. All In, London, Wembley Stadium. I'm going to be extremely hungover. I'm going to try not to be. I'm going to mix in some water, but there's going to be a lot of Jameson and a lot of Morgan as my birthday is the day before this. So 11 o'clock.
That just sounds like a typical Saturday night for you, JB.
Well, yeah, but it's going to be my birthday, so more people will be buying me shots than me usually taking them. So yeah, we'll see. I've survived many birthdays already. Obviously, I'm going to be 44, so I've survived 43 of them. 11 o'clock a.m. though.
And many more, brother.
Thank you, man. Appreciate it.
I will be watching All In twice this weekend. I was invited to a barbecue at the old our old co-host Daryl's house on Sunday because he's going to be watching All In Sunday evening. So essentially, I'm going to watch it live Sunday afternoon, and then I'm going over to his house for a barbecue, and I'm going to end up watching the thing again. And I already told him, I'm like, hey, I'm already going to see the show. I'm coming over to hang out. I'm just not going to be an asshole and spoil anything. I'm just going to keep my mouth shut. So yeah, I really hope the show's good because I'm going to see it twice on Sunday.
Right. Mark Cho, I'm always hungover. No, I'm not always hungover. I'm but a wiser older man now and do get some water in there. So the bad hangover.
Water.
It's just gonna be a
Water.
bit. It's just gonna be a bitch to get up at 11 a.m. my time for the 0 hour. Jose G, what's
What
up,
up,
man?
man?
Thanks for joining us. I saw Jose G recently. I don't know if it was for Lucha Libre, but I saw him talking with Marty Scurll recently. So, doing some good work in the wrestling business. And oh boy, Charles, will you stop? That's where you take. That's where you take the shots, man. But yeah, I would expect the 0 hour. We're probably going to find a Ring of Honor. We're probably going to find another match added to that 0 hour.
I
I'm
can't
guessing.
imagine it's only a one match event.
Yeah.
I just can't.
MK saying that right here. One more women's match and another match for 0 hour, and the card is complete. Oh yeah. Well, yeah. I think another. Yeah, I think Ring of Honor. I think they're going to add a 0 hour match. Maybe. God, the Kingdom's not wrestling, so maybe
No,
the
but I think
Kingdom.
the Kingdom's going to be involved in the story with Cole and MJF. So,
Oh yeah.
I don't see them competing, but I do see them being. Them and Roddy are going to play a role on Sunday.
Before we get to All In predictions, let's talk about what's going to happen at Fyter Fest on Wednesday. Aussie Open against the Hardys. That match won't suck. It's for the ROH tag titles, but yet who's going to believe the titles are going to change days before a pay-per-view? But I guess you never know. But God, what if they change and that turns into a triple threat on 0 hour?
Jeff Hardy can't get to the UK.
Oh, that's right.
Yeah,
Jeez.
so it ain't happening.
Damn
It'll
it,
be
Jeff.
I think it's going to be a really fun match, though. So
This is a loaded go home for Dynamite.
It needs to be, because Collision shit the bed on Saturday night.
Yeah,
we need some loaded shows this week to build the hype for All In on Sunday.
Did they say what was going on with Collision on Saturday this week?
It's being taped with Dynamite. The only thing that's been announced so far is an all-star 8-man tag. We don't know who any of them. We don't know anybody who's in it.
It's gonna be a Saturday night full of random matches. Then, the Elite take on Juice Robinson and the Guns ahead of the Elite's 6-man match. We're gonna hear a lot of Kansas over the next few days. Swerve Strickland and AR Fox take on Darby Allin and Nick Wayne ahead of the Coffin match. John Moxley and Ray Phoenix. God, Ray Phoenix and Commander on Rampage Friday was a damn good match. Jack Perry retiring the FTW Championship. I don't think it's going to be as easy as that. We may have a Taz mission in place coming for Wednesday, maybe. Renee Paquette speaks with both Adam Cole and MJF at the same time. I don't know, but we'll see. Sky Blue.
The way they discussed it, it seems it's going to be separate,
yeah.
sit-down interviews.
Sky Blue taking on Ruby Soho. The Chris Jericho Ospreay contract signing, and a face-to-face interview, FTR and the Young Bucks. Hopefully it's one of those sit-downs with JR. Those old school sit-down JR interviews. That'd be kind of cool to see. So that's all taking place Wednesday. Lots of shit. Should be a good Fyter Fest. All right, let's get into it, Matt.
I think we're going to hear something about Stadium Stampede this week as well.
Yeah.
For AEW. So not the match, not the match at All In, but the match type for AEW Fight Forever. I do think we're going to hear something substantial about Stadium Stampede this week.
Considering there's a Stadium Stampede match, you'd figure maybe they got something going on for that.
Synergy.
Right. All right, here we go. All In, baby. 0 hour. The only match we have announced: Aussie Open, MJF and Adam Cole for the Ring of Honor Tag Team Championships. I think MJF and Adam Cole are going to win them, and they're going to stretch this out with the Kingdom. I think then eventually the Kingdom takes them off. I think that's how it's going to happen.
I do think they should win them. And one person's going to hate the other by the end of All In. And this is where you execute the ECW storyline that I've been begging a wrestling promotion to redo for the last 15 years. Chris Candido, Lance Storm were ECW tag team champions.
And they hated the shit out of each
other's guts. But yeah. Paul Heyman was like, if either of you cost the other the tag team titles, you're fired.
Yep.
And they were forced to work together and coexist essentially before coexisting was a bad term, and that
Can they
storyline
coexist?
was entertaining as hell.
Yeah, it
And
was.
I think it would be tremendous to see Cole and MJF forced to hold those titles, and if either of them cost the other one the titles, that they would be fired. I think it would be really freaking cool to see that again.
Yeah, I think with Roddy and the Kingdom involved, I think MJF and Adam Cole are going to take those titles, and man, that'd be great if they redo that storyline. Man, if you ever go back and watch old ECW, man, just how good Lance Storm was. I was telling Matt this. And it's like, God, Vince fucked him over.
Not surprised.
He was a Intercontinental title holder once. I did not realize. But there goes my earbud. Me and earbuds don't mix half the time. They don't just stand for some reason. FTR, the Young Bucks, the trilogy, the third match between these guys for the AEW tag titles. Even with the whole legal thing happening, I don't see FTR dropping these to the Bucks. Matt, do you?
I see the Bucks taking these titles.
Do you?
I do. Especially after what happened last week. I do.
What makes you say that?
Bucks just signed a big money deal.
Oh, the re-signing, them and Omega re-signing.
Yeah, you might as well get your use out of them. I'm not rolling out a Bucks title win at All In. I'm not.
Wow. Okay. Yeah, I don't know. It just doesn't seem like it's time for FTR to drop them just yet, in my opinion. But the Bucks did sign that new deal. Cash is in legal trouble somewhat, even though it seems obvious he's going to be clear of that.
I think it's more about the fact of how late Cash informed AEW that this was happening. It's something that they're going to be like, you can't fucking do that.
Yeah.
So,
well, that's what got Enzo fired.
Charles, VPN, brother.
Oh yeah, yeah.
You can get both. You can get both these pay-per-views on a VPN with Fight for about $15 less than one pay-per-view here in the States. What are you doing?
$20 each.
Like don't freaking worry about buying pay-per-views over here. Use a VPN, man.
Well, I'm gonna stick with FTR. I just don't feel I don't feel it's time to take them off them yet. But Frantic World agrees with Matt though on that. It didn't take long for me and Matt to disagree either. Fatal 4-way for the AEW Women's title: Hikaru Shida, Toni Storm, Saraya, and Dr. Britt Baker, DMD. Matt, who do you got?
There's only two answers here.
To me, there's one.
I think it's either Shida retains or Saraya gets the title.
Yeah, to me, there's one answer. Saraya gets the title.
Okay. Since you're saying Saraya gets the title, I'm gonna go with Shida retains, just to be different. But I think it's a coin flip. I think Shida deserves a longer title reign than that. But I could totally understand if they decided to give that to give it to Saraya. Charles, you also need to I know you think it's ridiculous, but you also need to understand when All In was originally announced, it wasn't supposed to be a pay-per-view to begin with. They were hoping to get this, streaming on Max or a special on like TBS or TNT. Like the pay-per-view was like a last resort option for them to just make sure the world could see this show.
Yeah. Tag team coffin match, Mogul Embassy, AR Fox and Swerve taking on Darby Allin and Sting. Well, after Tony Khan just praised Sting, saying he's having the best run of his career, which it was a ridiculous statement. I mean, that was the answer to that is the 90s. Sting is undefeated, pretty much, I believe. He hasn't lost a tag match even, has he?
Yeah, no. He's not lost an AEW period. And he ain't losing this Sunday either.
Nope.
Darby can't afford a loss going into All Out when he's challenging for a title.
Yep.
So Stain and Darby must win.
6-man tag match, the Golden Elite, Kota Ibushi, Omega, and Hangman against Konosuke Takeshita and Bullet Club Gold. Juice Robinson, who is just cracking me up with his antics lately, and Jay White. And actually, Bullet Club Gold has been kind of entertaining on Collision as of late overall. Even the Ass Boys. I think the Bullet Club Gold's been doing some good things. But this is going to be all about revenge of the attack on Omega. So the Elite, I think, are going to win this.
I agree.
Stadium Stampede match. Eddie Kingston, Orange Cassidy, Best Friends, and Lucha Brothers. Holy cow, there's a lot of people in this. Against the Blackpool Combat Club and 3 guys to be announced, which we'll probably find out on Wednesday. A, who do you think is going to be the TBA guys? And B, who's your winner?
I think Santana and Ortiz for sure. And I rounded out with Chris Hero.
You put the
As far
BCC
as-
over? And are these guys BCC?
No.
Okay.
No. They're there for allegiance sake. But I do think BCC wins.
Let's hope for Santana and Ortiz that put their shit, aside. This came out yesterday from Fightful Select. Santana, who tore his ACL in the Blood and Guts match last year, recently returned and posted vignettes, but has yet to return to the ring. Fightful has confirmed that he's ready for an in-ring return. For those asking, they're told of him being cleared for a return. He and Ortiz were still not in good terms. However, that has been the case for a while before the injury. It's not impossible that the two can work together following his return. Speaking of Ortiz, there's plenty of traction that he could be planned for a spot in the Wembley All In card. Ortiz was scheduled for a Limitless Wrestling show next weekend, but was pulled from that event. In a follow-up, we were told it was due to an AEW-related obligation. There are several wrestlers not booked for that card that are being sent to the UK. I think they worked their shit out, Matt. Putting two and two together now.
Agreed.
You said you put the Blackpool Combat Club winning?
I do, yeah.
Yeah, I agree. Singles match, Will Ospreay, Chris Jericho, after Jericho just denied Don Callis. Well, actually didn't deny him. He said okay, but wanted to look at the photo and that great photo of Jericho's head decapitated by Mel. What a talented artist she is. I can't see Jericho beating Ospreay. I just can't. You?
I wouldn't recommend it.
I guess it's all down to how Tony Khan books it then, huh?
I don't see Ospreay losing this match. I really don't.
I don't either. So,
and if they think Jericho's going to go into the United Kingdom and get cheered against Will Ospreay, you got another thing coming. It's not happening. Jericho's getting booed out. Jericho's getting booed out of that building.
Absolutely. This is not for the Ring of Honor television title. This is for the real World's Championship. CM Punk, the Golden Vampire, taking on Samoa Joe. Does Joe add to his belt collection, Matt?
No.
Because if Joe beat him in their first match, right?
No, Punk won the tournament.
Punk won. Punk won the tournament.
Punk will win again. Punk got him with the roll-up. And that's what Joe was upset about. And Punk's going to beat him again.
I'm going to go Joe. Set up 3. Set up a winner-take-all.
I would have been more inclined to go for Joe if it wasn't for the Real World's Championship.
Yeah.
But since it is, I'm going with Punk.
Because you think it's going to be Punk and MJF at Full Gear?
Or Punk and Adam Cole.
Or Adam Cole, yeah. That's true. Oh, foreshadowing maybe. The main event, MJF and Adam Cole. Man, now that you bring up the Lance Storm, Chris Candido idea, I'm more inclined to say MJF retains.
I think Adam Cole wins.
If they're forced to work together, well, no, I guess if he screws him over, is the guy.
I think that's what I think was gonna. I think it's gonna be a ruse all along. And I think the Kingdom of Roddy help Adam Cole beat MJF at All In.
And that's what I've been saying all along in the story, that Adam Cole's going to be the one to turn heel. I've been saying that all along, and now I'm trying to go back on what
But I don't know if you could define it as really turning heel. But it's going to be done. It's going to be done like Adam Cole told MJF last week on the microphone. I will do anything and everything I have to do to win that title next weekend. And look, if you out-devil the devil, is it really turning heel?
That's a good point.
So
and it really, I am really excited for a Kingdom with Adam Cole back in it, baby, and add Roddy into that mix.
I'm not rolling that out. I'm definitely not.
I love that idea.
One way or another, I think All In ends with the AEW World Champion standing face to face with CM Punk, and they're both holding their titles in the air, and that's your main event for All Out the following weekend.
For All Out, okay. I see what you're cooking. On paper, it looks good, so that's good for Matt having to watch it twice. So it looks good on paper.
Yeah, I don't foresee this being a bad show, but if it ends up somehow being a bad show, I'm going to be disappointed. I'm going to have to watch this twice. But it is what it is. I want to see my buddy. So,
what's up, Daryl? If you're watching, by the way, sometimes he watches.
Yeah.
Chad Gable taking on Gunther. I think there's going to be some chicanery, and obviously because there's still the honky tonk record that is.
It's just a couple weeks away. He's not dropping that title until he gets that record.
Yeah. So I think there's going to be some cheating or something with Kaiser and Vinci or something. There's going to be some
cheating would be great because it would set up a rematch later on, and they could do it, after the record's been done.
They could do it.
But if he beats him clean, that'll suck. Yeah. I don't want to see him beat him clean tonight.
I think there's chicanery leading to. I think there's chicanery leading to a rematch where Gable will win after the record's been passed. The New Day take on McIntyre. The New Day take on McIntyre and Riddle. Nakamura reveals what he told Seth Rollins. Of course, that was a meme that was very fun to.
I made it very clear last week. If we don't get a payoff on what he said, I'm going to be pissed.
Exactly.
So,
well, Raw's going to start in less than a minute. Anything to close out with, Matt?
Oh, just hoping for a good show to kick off the next 2 weeks of craziness.
Exactly. Don't forget to check out Rick Ucchino's interview with Alpha Academy. I thank you for tuning into Lost in the Midcard, brought to you by Bet Online. We'll be back next week with our All In results and our All Out predictions.